So good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. I hope, let me see how many people have joined. So while I wait for people to join, let me be looking at myself here. So good evening, everyone. While I wait for people to join, I'll just post a few questions down. I'll pin the questions and you can start responding as you join in. Good evening. Okay. Good evening. So while I wait for a few minutes, I've posted a question down there. So what's the most stressful part of being a parent? So good evening. Okay, we have 2 people that have joined. That's great. That's great. Let me invite my friends too. So good evening, everyone. I just want to say thank you. Okay, has joined. Hello, Mr. Kunle Ologe. Thank you for joining. Who else is joining? Let's see. Ijoma Uba has joined. Hello, Ijoma. Madam at the top, how are you doing? Wendy is here. Okay, Wendy, you're logged in from Mr. Kunle's handle. So good evening, everyone. I guess people would join us. So when they join, they will catch up with what I'm talking about for today. So I just want to say thank you to Wendy. Thank you, Wendy, for organizing this wonderful intentional parent online conference. Thank you very much for organizing this. I've been following the conference for the past 2 days, and you've gotten a lot of wonderful speakers to come to talk to us about parenting, about the experience, about what it means to be a parent. I just want to say thank you. I listened to Mr. Akinrokpo. I listened to Sue. I listened to Buki, and I also listened to Sue, Buki, and Dr. Lulu. And I can say that I actually learned from them. So I just want to say thank you. My name is Toyin Ogunkanmi. I would start by talking about my parenting journey. So by the time I'm done with my parenting journey, I'm sure we'd have like maybe 20 to 40, 50, 60 people joining. Then I go into what I'm talking about today. So my parenting journey started about, I hope you can hear me before I even start. I hope you can all hear me. Wendy, can you hear me? I hope it's okay. The volume is okay, right? I hope the volume is okay. Okay. So let me start. So my name is Toyin Ogunkanmi. I'm the founder of Parenting Support System. I couldn't miss, thank you. My name is Toyin Ogunkanmi. I'm the founder of Parenting Support System. I'm also the author of Smart Parenting. And I am married with 3 wonderful children. My parenting journey started about 15 years ago. My first son turned 15 on Sunday. And the journey, initially I would say it was smooth. Along the line, it wasn't smooth because God had given me a wonderful son. I call him a wonderful son. Strong-willed, bold, fearless, ready to dare. He was very daring. He was ready to test all the boundaries. And imagine me being a very simple, reserved, quiet, and shy person, and God giving me someone like that. I was like, oh my goodness, how would I cope? How was I going to cope with such a person? And at every point in time, there was always that conflict. We always have a clash. And the only way I knew then to get my son to obey me, to get my son to listen to what I needed him to do was to either shout at him or to punish him or to even spank him. I actually did spanking. And I realized that I was not getting the results I actually wanted, one. And I also realized that in the process of raising him, I had other children, and I was raising them the same way, the same method I was using in raising my first son. I was using it in raising my second and my third child. So imagine you have two children, boys, then the next, a girl. That girl was almost turning out to be a tomboy because she too had the trait of always wanting to have her way. And the house was always upside down. We're always screaming, shouting. And I was like, no, there's a better method of raising children. I don't think this is the best method of raising children, shouting, screaming, and hitting them. And that was how I started my parenting education. I went for certification. I went for anger management. I first of all went for anger management classes. Then I went for emotional intelligence classes. I went for parenting classes. Then in the process of doing my parenting classes, I now realized, okay, if I had gone through this process, I had gone through this experience of raising children, having to shout and scream, then there might actually be other parents out there that need to learn the things I've learned. And that was how I became a parenting educator. I went for the certification, and today I'm a certified parenting educator. So why all this story? I just needed you to have a background of where I'm coming from and to know why I'm doing what I'm doing and for you to know where I'm going to. So having my child, going through the process of screaming, shouting, yelling, going through the process of going for anger management classes, emotional intelligence classes. I can imagine someone that is soft-spoken, someone that is easygoing, going for these classes. And that is one of the things parenting can actually do. When you do not know what you're meant to do, parenting could your child's temperament, your parenting style will actually bring out the worst in you. So as parents, the first thing you need to do is for you to be able to understand yourself. You need to know yourself, you need to know your strengths, you need to know your weaknesses, you need to know what makes you to tick. You need to know what are your triggers. As a parent, you need to know this. That is the only way you will be able to raise your child effectively. Now, apart from that, when I was undergoing the training, I had this light bulb experience. And what was the light bulb experience? That every child God has given to you, God has deposited something unique in that child. So for every child you've been given, there's something special, there's something unique about that child you need to know. And how can you know that unique thing about that child? How can you know what is the special thing God has put in that child? Is by you studying the child. You need to observe your child. You need to recognize and identify the unique thing in that child. And you need to help the child to develop the unique things in the child. So today I'll be talking about understanding your child for effective parenting. So can somebody just type that down there? Understanding your child for effective parenting. That's what I'll be talking about today. So while I went for my training, I got to know that every child is different. Every child is unique. Every child has a purpose on earth. And for you, the parent, you need to be able to know that purpose. You need to know why God created that child. You need to know the reason God sent that child on earth. And I always use the example of Samson in the Bible. When the parents were actually waiting, and when the parents, when they had a visitor, an angel visited the mom. And the angel told them that, okay, you're going to have a child. This child is going to be this child is going to be that child is going to be this. And out of excitement, she ran to meet the husband. Guess what? We got a visitor today, and somebody came. I'm sure the person is a man of God, and he said, we're going to have a son, and the son is going to be this, the son is going to be that, the son is going to be that. And the husband asked her one question. The husband asked her that, Did you ask him how we are to raise this child? Did you ask the angel what the things we need to do to ensure the child becomes all that you said the child is going to be? And she said, oh no, that she did not do that. And what the husband now told her that, okay, if the person is really from God, the angel will come again and we would ask the question. And of course, the person, God, an angel came back and they asked the question, this child is given to us. What are the things that are expected of him? What are the things the child is not meant to do? What are the things the child is meant to do? So that's one clear, I would say it's a clear indication that every child on earth has a purpose. Every child on earth has a reason for coming to earth. And God has put enough potentials, enough skills, enough attributes, enough traits in every child God has given to you. So your role as the parent is to understand the child God has given to you. So let me repeat that. Your role as a parent is to understand every child God has given to you for you to be able to raise that child effectively. Now, there are actually 4 parameters I actually discuss whenever I'm understanding your child. But before I go into the 4 parameters, I want to state something that every person is a product of nature and nurture. Every person is a product of nature and nurture. What do I mean by this? Nature simply means the inborn trait God has put in the child. That was the first thing I said, that every child God has given to you has an inborn trait as things deposited in him by God. And your role as the parent is to be able to observe, identify, and develop those traits God has given to him or her. So I said that every person is a product of nature and nurture. When we talk about nature, nature simply means that the inborn trait God has given to the child. How does the child respond to his environment? How does the child respond to love? How does the child respond to learning styles? How does this child respond to people? Those are 4 different parameters I'm going to look at today. That's in terms of the nature. Now, in terms of the nurture is the way we are raised, and it's the way our experiences in life. So we have different experiences. Maybe while growing up, you've met some. Okay, let me give this example. Like my youngest son, he used to have this friend that used to come around him, and the only reason why the person was coming around him was because of something. Now my younger son now has gotten that experience that this person is around me because of certain things. So those are nurture. Your experiences, the way you were raised. But nature are the inborn things God has put in you, God has put in your child. So today I'll be talking about nature, the inborn traits God has put in your child. And this inborn trait, I said there are actually 4 categories. First one is your temperament. What is your child's temperament? The second is your child's love language. How does your child respond to love? The third is the learning style. How does your child respond to learning? And fourthly is the skills and intelligences God has put in that child. For you to get the best out of your child, you need to know 4 parameters. For you to understand your child, you need to know these 4 parameters. Let me go down. Let me see if I have loud and clear. I can imagine. Good to be here. Yes, there's a better way of yelling and shouting. Anger management classes. Yes, I went for anger management classes. Really true. I need anger management. Don't worry, you join the anger management classes around. Understanding your child for effective parenting. Yes, thank you very much for writing that. Understanding your child for effective parenting. Thank you. Every child is different and has a purpose on it. Excellent. understanding your child, of course, this story of Samson is profound. Okay, your role as a parent is to understand the child God has given to you. Every person is a product of nature and nurture. Thank you very much. Okay, I hope this is not freezing. Okay, so I'm back. What happened? It just froze and I couldn't do anything again. So I'm back. So let me wait a few more minutes to get my people back. I'm back. Hello, everyone. I'm back online. Let's see, where is everyone? Okay, so I'll just wait for a few minutes and I continue from where it went off. I'm so sorry about what happened. I don't know what happened. It just went off. Okay, so while I wait for people to join back, so I said there are 4 parameters you need to use in understanding. I said the first is how your child responds to his environment. That's his temperament. How your child responds to love. That's the love language. How your child responds to learning. That is his learning style. And the different skills and abilities God has deposited in your child. So those are the 4 areas we're going to use in understanding our children. So let me start by talking about the temperament. There are different temperaments, there are different personality assessments, different personal tests. Well, I like using that was founded by Hippocrates. He actually started personalities and temperaments. And he identified 4 different personality types. He identified the personality that's called the choleric, you have the melancholy, you have the joining back, you have the melancholy, you have the sanguine. That is one that's one example of personality type you could use. Then you can also use the personality type that has to do with your child's activity level, energy level, your child's ability to respond to stimuli, your child's ability to, in terms of distraction. But I always like using that of Hippocrates. That's the melancholy, the choleric, the sanguine, and the phlegmatic. Now, when you talk about your choleric child is that child that is, I would say, the child is task oriented. The child wants things to be done his way. Some of them are actually known as strong-willed children, like that's like my son that I spoke about when I started. Like my son, they're actually strong-willed children. They want things to be done their way. So you have a parent that is strong-willed, and you have a child that is strong-willed. What will happen in the house? There will be fights, there will be clashes, there will be conflicts in the house all the time. Now imagine you have a child that is choleric and wants things done his way. They are go-getters. That type of child always wants things his way, wants things to be done the way he wants it to be done. And you've not understood that child's personality to be choleric. You'll be fighting with a child. You always be going on. You always have this conflict in the home because you want the child to do things your way, but the child wants to do things his way. And as a parent, you need to understand that there are different ways you can get that child to do things your way. But by the time you start forcing the child to do things your way, there will always be fights between myself and my son. I always want him to do things my way, and he always wants to do things his way. I'm like, see, who is the parent in this relationship? I am the parent. As at that time, before I went for my certification and training, I was a goodie. I won't lie. Despite the fact that I was spoken, I was quiet and gentle, because I always wanted them to go do things my way. Maybe I'm a little choleric, but I'm not choleric. So back to what I was talking about. So The choleric child is the one that wants things done his way. And for a parent that has not been able to understand that child, you would always be fighting with the child. You would always be at loggerheads with the child. But there are different ways of getting the child to do things your way. And one of the way of getting the child to do things your way is by giving the child options. Because the child is someone that wants to always make decisions, take decisions. You give the child options within your own boundaries. Now, the second personality type I'll be talking about is the sanguine. The sanguine child is the child that wants to do things the fun way. You get into a party, that person that is all over the party that everybody knows, everybody is everyone's friend. A high five there, hello there. That child has best friend on the street. That child has best friend in the church. That child has best friend in school. That is your sanguine child. That is where God has wired that person. That type of person is, I call that person a connector. Because the person who connects other people and get things done. Now, for a mother that is quiet and shy and has a child that is always all over the place, there's going to be conflict in the home. Because you'll be wondering, why is this child everywhere? Oh, network is breaking. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Oh, I'm so sorry. Is it better now? Chinyere, is it better now? Please, if it's better, let me know, please, before I continue. Is it better now? I hope it's, please, let me know if it's better. Network, oh, I'm so sorry about this. Oh my goodness, but let me continue. I'm sure by the time you watch the replay, it would go smoothly. So I was talking about the sanguine child. So imagine you have a child that is all over the place, everybody's friend, and you, the mom, you are the quiet type, you are the shy type, and you wonder, what is wrong with this child? Why is this child always going out? Why is this child everywhere? You have a connector in your home. So as a parent, you need to know that, okay, this child's strength is in connecting people together. This child's strength is, some of them might be the clown in the home to make the home lively. They're the ones that come home and give you the gist of what's happening. They make the home exciting. Now, if there's this off child, the melancholy child, that child always likes to do things the right way. I want to do things the right way because it's the right thing to do. This type of child is detailed. This type of child is orderly. This type of child just wants to do things the right way. And you are the mom or the father and you're a sanguine, there will always be quarrel in the home if you don't get to understand the child. So as a parent, first is to understand your child, to know the person God has given to you, so that it will be easy for you to raise and nurture that child. I hope the network is better. Please, if the network is better, please, I need to indicate, let me know that the network is better. I hope when the network is better. Is Wendy there? Let me continue. I hope the network is better. It's getting better. Your voice is slightly. Okay, thank you. Hello, Mike. I think your network is breaking up. Oh, okay. Okay. What about now? Is it better now? Please let me know if it's better. Is it better? I hope it's better. Okay, so let me continue. So I've spoken about the child that is choleric, I've spoken about the sanguine child, I've spoken about the child that is detailed, that is orderly, that's your melancholy child, and I'm about to talk about the phlegmatic. The phlegmatic child is a child that wants things to be done easy way out. That's the type of child. So if you are stressing the child won't even bother, won't even come around you, because the child wants things to be done easy. Now, as a parent, how are you going to manage your different personalities? Because for every God has given to you, I'm very sure each one of them would have the different traits. Yes, is it better? It's a little bit better. Okay. I hope so. Please, I apologize for the network. I don't know what's happening. Okay. So for every child God has given to you, God has deposited a particular trait. And temperament are called the inborn traits in which the characteristics in which your child responds to the environment. So I explained the choleric child wants to get things done his way, wants to get things done now. They're always impatient. They want things to be done now. Your sanguine child, that child that's all about fun, play. They're so playful. They want things to be done in playful manner. I have one in my house. When you ask her to, for example, when you ask her to wash the plates, that is when you bring the camera. She's recording herself. She's talking as she washes the plate. And I'm like, don't you know that you have a particular time to wash your plate? So what I've done for my daughter is I always put the timer. So I tell her that, see, you have 10 minutes to wash your plate. Once your timer rings out, then the next set of dish you'll be able to wash. So that's tends to hurry up. Now, for a child that is a man, that is phlegmatic, that wants things to be done the easy way, how can you help that child to do things, even when things are not easy? The child still needs to get the task done. Because children are like that, they tend to procrastinate. Then that's another trait of your sanguine child. They like to procrastinate. Why? Because they'll say, oh, they'll do it later. They have enough time. They'll prefer to be the one doing the talking and gisting. Others are doing the work. So you need to, for your sanguine child, for your phlegmatic child, you need to put structure in place and routine. If you don't put structure in place for your sanguine and phlegmatic child, the child will end up not doing the tasks you are assigned to for him or her to do. Now, for your child that is choleric, for your child that is melancholy, that is detailed, they might not like you hounding them, giving them structure like your sanguine and your phlegmatic child. For those kind of children, I advise parents to always give them a sense of autonomy. Let them know that, okay, these are your options. How do you want to do? Give them the ability to make decisions, to take decisions, what how they are wired. Now, coming to talk about love language, because I said I'm going to talk about 4 different parameters in which we understand our children. The first parameter is you understanding your child's personality, how your child is wired. The second parameter is you understanding your child's love language. And I love this book written by Dr. Gary Chapman, The 5 Love Languages for Children. Excellent book. And what is in the book? There are 5 different love languages which every parent needs to know. A few days ago, I was reading on someone's time, and a person wrote there that the person is a change coach, and the person wrote there that how can you help a teenager that says her parents does not love her, and the parents have provided everything for the child. And I wrote there and I said the parent is not speaking the child's love language. So what do I mean by speaking your child's love language? You speak your child's love language simply means you speaking your child's love language simply means you speaking to your in a language that he responds to love. And like I said, there are 5 different love languages written by Dr. Gary Chapman. I love that. It's an excellent book. And I'm going to state 5 different love languages and explain them. And you try to put your children into either of this to know which one is your child's love language. So the first we're talking about is physical touch. There are children that just love their parents to hug them, love their parents to pat them, give them high five. That is how they are wired. That's how they respond to love. Then we have words of affirmation. This simply means you're encouraging your child with positive words. Your child has done something good. You affirm the child. You say, oh, excellent job. I like the way you. And when you're giving your child the affirmation, you have to be very constructive. Just don't give a blanket affirmation. Oh, good boy. excellent. No, you have to be specific in telling the child what he has done right. Then the next is acts of service. These are the people that respond to this love language. They love people to do things for them, small, like, oh, maybe your son is going to school. So, can you help me not my tie? Can you help me tie my shoelace? Those subtle things, just those things, those small things that you do to the child is what makes the child feel loved by the parent. Then I've spoken about acts of service, and I've spoken about physical touch, I've spoken about words of affirmation. Then have the quality time. We have children that love parents spending time with them. So like that child now that said her parent does not love her, or her parents are showing love to her. Parents have actually been buying things for her and not spending time with her. That's why the child would say, my parents do not love me. For a child to say love him or her, you have to respond. You have to be talking to the child using the child's love language. So I've spoken about physical touch. I've spoken about words of affirmation. I've spoken about acts of service, and I've spoken about quality time. The last love language is giving the child gift. Now, it's not every child that you give a gift to that would love it. There are children that, and it's not the value of the gift you're giving to the child that matters. It's the fact that you're giving the child a gift. For example, you're going out, you've gone out, and you're coming back home, and you buy just a pen. You buy just a pen for the child, and you tell the child, guess what, I got you this pen. The child will be so excited if that is the child's love language. But imagine your child that has his love language to be quality time, and you're buying the child gifts, you're buying the child phone, you're buying the child different things. The child will not really appreciate it because you're not speaking his love language, you're not speaking love language to the child. So as parents, you need to understand your child's love language. Very important. It helps you in connecting emotionally with the child. When this book that says you need to connect before you correct, that is one way of connecting with your child, understanding your child's love language. Once you understand your child's love language, it will be very easy for you to be able to correct the child. Now, the next parameter of you understanding your child is your child's learning style. I've seen parents, oh, my child is not doing so well in school. And the child, like I said initially, every child has a purpose on it. Every child, God has given different gifts to your children. The teachers might be teaching the child using the wrong learning style. So we have 4 different learning styles. We have some children that learn, they're visual learners. They have to see what you're teaching. We have children that are auditory learners. They have to hear what you're saying. So you could be showing them videos and they're not really, you could be showing them videos without the audio, they're not really learning. Then you have those that are kinesthetic. They do a lot of, someone like me, I'm a visual and kinesthetic, that's why you can see my hands going all over the place. So you need to know your child's learning style. I said there are 4 different learning styles. The first is learners, we have the visual learners, we have the auditory learners, we have the kinesthetics or tactile learners, children that need to touch and feel what they are being taught. Then you have those that learn by reading and writing. For a child that learns by reading and writing, the child has to read and write, understand and write. Now, for your child that is not doing too well in school, it might be that you have not gotten the child's learning style correct. And as a parent, you need to understand this. As a parent, you need to understand this. You need to understand your child's learning style. So let me go back to learning style again. I said there are 4 different learning styles that children might use in responding to learning. We have the visual, we have the auditory, we have those who learn by touching. They have to sit still. In the class, you see them, their legs are always shaking. They're always fidgeting, they're always moving around. Even in the home, you're telling your child something, you need to explain to the child. There are some children you need to explain to them by visualizing them, seeing what you're explaining to them. You're giving your child an instruction, and the child is not an auditory learner. The child is like a visual learner. And you just the child wants, go and get this. And the child cannot visualize what you're saying. The child won't be able to get what you ask him to go and do. So as a parent, you need to know your child's learning style. And I said there are 4 different learning styles. I said some children learn by their visual learners, some are auditory learners, some are kinesthetic. They need to feel, they need to touch, they need to feel and touch what you're teaching them. Then I said some children they learn by reading and writing. Very important, you need to know, understand. So this is one of the points you need to use in understanding who your child is. Now back to auditory, kinesthetic, learning styles, visual learners, reading and writing. As a parent, you must understand your child's learning style. Very important. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Thierry. Thank you for all those that are typing out what I'm talking about. Thank you a lot. Then the last parameter you use in understanding your child is the skill or natural abilities God has given to your child. Now, what do I mean by this? There are certain things that your child will do effortlessly, and you know that is the child's skill. And one thing I've noticed amongst parents is that we've not taken our time to understand our children. And because we've not taken time to understand our children, there's always conflict in the home. It's not peaceful. And when the house is not peaceful, there's no way you're able to raise your child effectively. And one of the ways you have to be intentional, you have to understand, you have to know this child God has given to you. Very important. When I'm talking about the skills now, we have about 9 different skills according to psychology. 9 different intelligences given that children actually display. And this different intelligence or skills or abilities, some children might have more than one, some might have 2, some might be very prominent, some might not be. And the thing about all these skills is that they are in your children, right? But it's until you identify the skill, then you polish the skill. And how do you polish the skill? You polish the skill by creating an environment for the child to develop that skill. Let me tell you the 9 different skills. We have children that are logically inclined. They are your equals. They know maths like anything. They are very sound with logic. You have children that are verbally, linguistically inclined. Those are your orators. Those are people that can talk. They command when they talk. They can talk from now to tomorrow because that is how God has wired them. You have children that are naturalistic. These are people that ordinarily just understand nature. They understand animals. They understand the water. If you have a child that is always watching Natural Geographic or all these animal stations, that child is actually wired as a naturalistic. If you then about 3, then you have children that are wired kinesthetically. They use their body. They can run, they can dance, they can play football. That is how God wired them. You have children that are especially inclined. What do I mean by this? They see things in 3Ds. These are your engineers. These are your artists. They draw very well. You need to know that thing in your child for you to be able to parent that child effectively. And one of the things I tell people that once you know your child's skill, use that as a motivator to get your child do things you want him to do. Use that as a motivator or motivation to get your child to achieve things you want the child to achieve. So, for example, in my home, I have a son that is, when he talks about football, he can play football from now to tomorrow and won't get tired. Talk about running, he runs like anything. But the way we motivate him to do other things is by using his phone. For example, he goes for football practice every Saturday. If his house chores are not done, he knows he won't go for football. So with your child's skills, you can actually use that as a motivation in getting them to do things you want them to do. The skill of natural ability God has given to your child, you must be intentional to understand your child. Some kids have multiple skills and they need to be encouraged. Yes, very good. Use your child's skill as a motivation. Very good. So I've spoken about 4 skills. I said you have the child that is logically inclined. People, they are the ones that would read, they will be studying. Just ask them times 100, they'll give you the answer immediately. Because that's how they've been wired. You have your child that is verbally and linguistically inclined. They can write, they're very good with writing, they're very good with talking, they're very good with, someone like Obama, that's actually, that's how God has wired him. So that's how God has, oh God, come up with this.
Just
how do I do that? Let's work.
so lot of essays for
Okay, let's wait. So, good evening. I'm back. So, earlier in the day, I had a little issue with my network, and due to the fact that other speakers have been scheduled to speak immediately after me, so I had to reschedule to speak at 10 o'clock. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining in. For those that joined initially, I just want to say thank you. And my name is Toyin Ogunkanmi. I was talking about understanding your child for effective parenting. That's the topic of what I was talking about. And I'm just going to give a recap, a brief summary of what I spoke about in the earlier video. And I said that you need to understand your child, for you to be able to raise or parent your child effectively. And I said that there are 4 different criteria or parameters you need to know your child with. I said the first parameter is you need to know how your child responds or reacts to the environment. That is your child's temperament or personality. I said you need to know how your child responds to love. Very important. You cannot say you're loving your child when you are loving your child the wrong way. Then thirdly, I spoke about the different learning styles that you need to know the way your child responds to learning. Very important. Because for you to pass instructions to your child, you need to pass instructions in the manner your child will be able to understand, in the manner your child will be able to respond to you. Then finally, I talking about the different intelligences, the different ability God has created, God has put in your child. And I said there about 9 intelligences, 9 skills, which you need to be able, you need to know so that you can identify the skills in your child. And in the earlier video, I said every person is a product of nature and nurture. When I talk about nature, these are the inborn traits God has put in you, in your child, which we need to harness, which we need to polish to make better, to make the child better, and also to help your parenting effective. And I said nurture is the way you raise your child. I said nurture is the different life experiences you've gone through that builds you up or that makes you who you are. Now, I would talk about the learning styles. I said there are 4 different learning styles. I said your child could either learn by visual, your child could be a visual learner, your child could be an auditory learner, your child could be a kinesthetic learner, meaning your child could learn touching things and feeling things. Then I said your child could also learn by reading and writing, the use of a book. Now, for children that are auditory and visual learners, these are children that need to see what they're being taught. They need to see in terms of graphs, in terms of pictures, in terms of PowerPoint. They learn by this method. Now, for children that are auditory learners, they learn by listening. So you could read aloud to them, you could play music for them, you could also have discussions. So for in the class now, if children in your class that are auditory learners, that means when you're teaching them, you need to do more. You need to do more of discussions. So it won't just be you displaying the visual on the board, on the whiteboard, but you need to do more of discussions. In the process of you discussing in the class, the child tends to assimilate, the child tends to understand what you're teaching. My oldest son is an auditory learner. He learns by listening. And the best way for him to actually learn is when there's a discussion going on in the class, when the teacher is discussing with the students, giving examples and all that. If in the school, all they do is just write on the board, show the videos, he wouldn't grab it like that because he needs to learn by listening, he needs to learn by speaking and talking. Now, for children that are kinesthetic learners, these children learn by touching. They need to feel what you're talking about. So, for example, you're teaching your child is being taught about different types of sand. And this is the clay sand, this is the loamy sand, this is the sand, the soil. Or this is the clay soil, the loamy soil, and the sandy soil. That particular child will have to touch and feel the different types of soil for him to understand what you're teaching. So if you have a child that is kinesthetic, you see that it does more of touching, more of moving around. Someone like me, I can see my hands are everywhere. Touching, moving around. You see they don't sit still in the class because they need to feel what you're teaching them. Now, for those that read and write, they're the ones that they need to always write what they read and they have to write what is being taught. So for a child that is in class now and is being taught, and the child is a reading and writing student, you would see that the child would always have to jot down. The child would always have to write for him to actually assimilate what is being taught. Now, for a parent giving that type of child instruction, the best way for you to pass the message across to the child is to tell the child to get a paper and a pencil and write out the instructions. For example, you're sending someone to the market to go and buy things, and you just list out all what you need. Get me biro, get me pencil, get me sharpener, get me this, get me that. And you don't write, the child does not write those things down. Just forget it, the child would lose it. By the time the child goes to the market and comes back, the child will actually buy half of the things you've sent him. So for children that their learning style is reading and writing, they need to always jot down the instructions that you're giving to them. Now I'd like to talk about the different intelligences God has put in. In fact, God is just awesome. You can imagine the different types of skills and ability in different people. And as a parent, you need to be able to identify these skills, these abilities in your children, and help them to develop and enhance these skills to make them become the person you created them for. Now, when we're talking about the different skills or different intelligences, these are simply things your children do effortlessly. You don't need to struggle, just get it done easily. And we have like about 9 different intelligences or skills. We have the spatial intelligence. These are children that have this form of intelligence. They actually understand, they see the world in 3D. These are your engineers, these are your artists, they draw, and they're like, wow, you're very good in drawing. If you have a child that is very good in drawing, you encourage the child by either getting the child a teacher, a tutor, or by getting the child going for more lessons. But that is that child's natural skill. Now, the second one I'll be talking about is the naturalistic. Children that have this ability or skill are children that understand living things, they understand nature, just like that. And you see them always watching National Geo, National Geo, I can't remember the name of station now. National Geographic station, station has to do with animal kingdom. They are very, very, very in tune with things that have to do with nature. You see them looking at birds, see them looking at chicken, and you're like, what are you doing with this? And the child actually is interested in that. So as a parent, you need to know what your child is interested in and help that child to harness that ability. Another intelligence I would talk about is the logical or mathematical ability. Here, children with this kind of ability or skill, they are naturally good in maths. They are naturally good in logic. They can quantify things. They have the ability to calculate just effortlessly. You give them maths 10 times 100, 10 times 1,000, and they give you the answer almost immediately. When you have a child like this, your job is to help this child to become better. It's not you having a child that is good in maths and you now want that child to study law. That is where conflict comes in for those that have teenage children, for those that have older children. You see a child that is very good in music, Ed can play like 7, 8 instruments, and you're insisting the child becomes a doctor. There's going to be conflict. So as parents, you need to know that ability, that thing your child does effortlessly, and help the child to become better. So I've spoken about the musical skill indirectly. These are children that are able to discern musical notes. They're able to discern the pitch and tones of music. You just see a child, and my daughter does this a lot. When she's reading, or when she's doing things, she tends to turn those things into music. I'm like, how do you do this? Well, that is how it's wired. So if you have children wired like that, please, your role as the parent is to help this child to harness the skills. Like I said, these skills are effortlessly. So I've spoken about spatial, I've spoken about naturalistic, spoken about musical, logical. Now you have children that are very good in terms of linguistic. They know the right word to say per time. They know what to say. They know how to combine the words that they're reading. Everything just know how to they just know how to do it properly. Parents that have children like this, your job is to help the child. I'm emphasizing that your role is to help the child. Because when you help this child in achieving his dreams, in becoming better, it makes your parenting job easy and effective. And like a previous speaker spoke, he said something about communication is easy for discipline. When you know what your child is good at, like I said in my home, my youngest son is very good in football and running. And what we've done, every Saturday he goes to play football. He's in a football academy here in Abuja. And every Saturday he goes for it. Once he he knows that he's going for those activities is tied to his completing his tasks for the week. The moment he completes his house chores, his reading, and all that, and everything is being ticked off, he knows automatically he would go for his football. So when you know what your child is interested in, it helps you in even in terms of communication and discipline. It helps you it helps you in having a very smooth relationship with the child. Then we have the intrapersonal and interpersonal skills. Intrapersonal, these are children that are in tune to themselves. They understand themselves properly. They understand they just understand themselves properly. They understand how they're wired. They can actually stay by themselves. They can actually when things are not going on right, they can actually go back within themselves and get the energy from themselves. Then those that are good in interpersonal, these are ones that they get the energy from other people. They have to be out there. They are very good with people, they're very good in talking to people, they're very good in communicating with other people. So I've stated the 9 different skills that children could actually possess. And as a parent, you need to be able to identify these skills in your child. Once you know that your child can do something effortlessly, help that in developing that thing, that skill, that ability. And before you know it, the child becomes mega. Now, I'll just do a small recap. Like I said, I spoke about the different personality type. I spoke about the love language. I spoke about the learning style of the child. And I just ended by talking about the different skills and abilities your children could have or possess. And your job, your role as a parent is to help your child in unearthing, in developing, in polishing these skills and becoming great and better. And in the process of you understanding your child, it helps your parenting journey, makes your parenting journey effortless, make your parenting journey effective. It makes you to be able to connect emotionally with your child. For example, the child that you know his love language, when you need to connect with the child, you know how to connect with the child. The moment you know your child's personality type, you know the things that will fill his emotional time. You know his emotional needs. In the process of knowing emotional needs, you know how to respond to the child. So I'll be ending here. I just want to say thank you to Wendy for giving us this opportunity to be part of your intentional parent conference. I want to say thank you. And like I said, I'm the author of Smart Parenting. This is my book, Smart Parenting. And I'm also the author of Parenting Journal. So these are the 2 books I've written. If you're interested, you can get across to me and you get a discount during this period. The Smart Parenting is going for 4,000, while the Parenting Journal is going for 5,000. During this period, there will be a discount of 1,000 off both of them. Instead of paying 9,000, you'll be paying 8,000. So I just want to say thank you to Wendy. Thank you for having me. We have to come back to conclude this. Thank you very much. Nice evening, everyone. So let me see if there are questions before I go. Your role is to help your child. Knowing interest helps you in having a smooth relationship with your child, intrapersonal and interpersonal skills. Okay. So thank you very much, Wendy. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice evening. Bye.